Hey guys, welcome back to another one of CCA's interview, which is part of our outreach series. For those who don't know, my name is Aaliyah. I am a CCA intern and a senior at St. Peter's University in Jersey City, New Jersey. Majoring in biology, aspiring to become a little craniofacial surgeon in the medical field, maybe. I too was born with a facial difference called Goldenhar syndrome that came with a long road of surgeries, therapies, and a lot of rehabilitation, which I already know already and never stopped me from achieving any of my goals. So today I am joined with Austin Halls. Austin is a life coach, recording artist, and a disability advocate. You guys don't want to play with him. So welcome, Austin. It is a pleasure to having you on our series.
Thank you so much for having me. Also, I'm obsessed with your energy. Everything about you is so I'm a little tired today, so you are giving me the life and the energy that I need. So thank you.
Oh, stop. I love your energy. It's like bringing my energy on. And it's like kind of exactly kind of early, but I love this for us. But thank you for joining us and sharing your time with us. Cause I know you have a little bit of schedule. You out there. I see you on social media popping, going to class. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. But just want to say I'm so proud of you. And let's get into this conversation in this interview.
Okay, let's do it.
So would you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Austin Halls. I am aware of many hats. I do life coaching, I do disability advocacy, I'm a recording artist, model, anything. Baby, you let me do it and I will do it. I was actually born with a really rare syndrome called Mobius syndrome. It is where the sixth and seventh cranial nerves were underdeveloped during birth. So I was born with facial paralysis and the inability to move my eyes left or right. That is the general theme for Mobius syndrome, but there's a huge spectrum. I was not able to eat normally at the age when I was born, and at the age of 3, I got the feeding tube out. The doctor said that I would never be able to eat normally, and I proved the doctors wrong, starting my journey of, proving to myself and others of I get to decide what I can and can't do. No one else will stop me.
Right, right. And I love that. And that's like the same message I'm trying to put out there in the world. So like I love how we can connect to that. That is amazing. And I love your story. So keep telling that story.
Thank you. Thank you.
These stories like this out here, which is why I'm interviewing you. So
And I think education is so, like, not only just to have the resources, but to have these conversations and to have people, be comfortable asking about things. I think especially in the disability community, there's
right,
not a lot of like tools to help people who are not disabled. Like these are the things that we should be saying, and
right,
these are some things that you should not be saying. For
right.
example, what is wrong with you? I feel like that is something that I get asked still to this day, and
Right.
we need to change the conversation and change the words that we're using because while there's nothing wrong with us, we're just different, and especially being disabled, I feel like recently in the past years, like I've definitely taking that term under my wing, and I am disabled, but I don't consider myself not able, so I think even in that realm, disability, the word disabled is kind of still being tossed around. So I think we need so many conversations, and we are starting those conversations.
We are right now. We are, and like you said, we do need to like a lot. Bring more conversations, start support groups because a lot of teens out there with facial differences and disabilities, they don't have that resource. So people like you and me, providing this information, like you said, education wise, is very very important because I remember back then I didn't have none of this. I didn't have no interview series or any social media. It wasn't even big back then. So I feel like, it's really our job to provide these information for these, teens and kids and just society in general, because, they look at us like we're monsters and like just like a disgrace and everything. So I'm just so proud of you. I keep saying I'm proud of you, but like it's really so good to see you out here doing your thing and doing what you love, your passion, you feel me?
And
So
I think that's why we're doing it because I resonate so much to what you said. Like I didn't have anyone to look up to. Like I didn't know if my family didn't know, especially when I was a baby, like if I was gonna be successful, if I was going to have a normal life, normal friends, a job, and especially I just went to the Mobius syndrome conference. It was a couple weeks ago in Minnesota, and like it's so inspiring, not because they're disabled, but because they're disabled and they're thriving.
Right.
We got to see like almost every adult was doing some really cool thing that was so articulate and just so like successful. Like I need that, and other people need people to look up to and say, well, I see Aliyah doing all her things. I see Austin doing their things, like, and I can't emphasize how important representation is, and we're doing it. We're doing
Are.
it.
You really are, and I'm so proud of us. Like, it's really, what amazes us because we've gone through so much, and to be able to sit here and have this conversation and to be like an image for society and for these, people is it's really like, I'm still processing everything because like, I just got into like, the advocacy journey, but it's like such a empowering feeling, it's like I'm really out here changing, helping society into a better like a better view of us, if that makes
And
sense.
how I think people, and it's funny because I need to emphasize this enough, because I don't really talk about this, but like how scary it is, or how much courage you have to do this. Because I know a lot of people see like my social media and they're like, oh, Austin is like so fearless, like he has no insecurities, like he just is like so himself, and like that is true, but like it is scary to be one of a trailblazer. It's scary to be, especially how rare it is. I feel like having a facial difference is so rare. Even the term facial differences, like that is still a new term that like even like my cohorts are learning, and I believe that like it takes us to do it, but it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of strength, and to put yourself out there and to be vulnerable
Right.
in a new situation is scary. Even disability conversations, and I've been having so many cool conversations about disabilities, but unfortunately we shouldn't have the oppressed shouldn't have to be the educators.
Right.
The oppressed shouldn't have to be the tools to have other people who are not having a disability understand what we go through. Unfortunately, that is the life that we live in, and I'm so blessed, and I'm sure you are also grateful to have those amazing opportunities. But it takes a lot of strength, it takes a lot of courage, and I just want to emphasize that. And seriously, for you to start your journey doing it, it's gonna be so powerful. It's also gonna be scary. It's gonna be overwhelming in all the best ways. But as soon as you hear, and I'm sure you've had that, as soon as you hear someone say like, I saw you on social media and I felt better about myself, or
Yeah.
like I wanted to do this and I didn't want to do it until I saw you doing it, and now I'm gonna do it because of you. Like that changes everything.
Right, right, right. And I have been getting those messages, like you're so confidently, like, what made you get into that, And I explained to them, it takes years, I wasn't always like this. And like how you said, the position we're in is very scary, we're being vulnerable, like you said. And, those past years, I wasn't how I am today. I was shy, not trying to be in all the, stuff. So like, it's just such a, crazy, surreal thing. Like, oh my God, like that was me back then. Like, look at me now. Like it's crazy. But like you said, it is scary. But I'm ready for the risk. I'm here to cause some chaos, but good chaos. You feel me?
We're changing the game, baby. We're changing the world, and we are doing it flawlessly and beautifully. I mean, hello, we're glowing. We're glowing, baby.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Okay. My next question for you is when did you realize you wanted to get into music and to make music?
Oh, okay. So I feel like I've always loved music, and I know that's such a cheesy, like, I was born to do music, but like, seriously, I remember my mom had a VCR tape of me singing karaoke when I was like 3 years old, and I always loved to sing, and I think it's because of facial paralysis, and I think that like, not being able to show expressions through my face, I
Mhm.
was always trying to find other outlets.
Right.
And I think music was always such a good outlet for me because I feel like music is undeniable in the emotions.
Mhm.
And I don't think anyone is like, I don't get what they mean in the song. Like, you know exactly how
Right.
sonically the vibe and the energy and the emotion in that song. And I
Mhm.
think that I listened to music and I was a lover of listening to music because I felt like it was the only representation that I had that could truly relate to how I'm feeling in that moment. And then when I got into songwriting, I was like, oh, this is like a different ballgame. Like this is literally like another way that I can share like a little piece of myself in music and in my it's just crazy that like art is so powerful because like you're taking what you have on the inside and you are sharing it in so many different ways. So like I could do that sonically and not have to explain myself. I feel like having a facial difference, people always are like, "Oh, you need to smile more. You look so angry all the time," because like you don't have any facial expressions. Like, this was the one time that like I could do something and it was undeniable in my emotion. So I think that's why I really love music.
Oh, no, yeah, yeah. I totally resonate with that. Music. Not even like showing expression through like appearances, but like you said, like music in general, like just the singing and just speaking, use your voice. That's like so powerful. You show your emotion through that. So I love that. That is so. Oh, I love that for you.
Thank you.
Um, I noticed you dropped a new single,
I
and uh
I
huh.
I dropped a new album.
Album, excuse
Wait a minute, where is it? I know I got one right here. Ah, well, yes, Ignorant Promo album.
me. Y'all, he dropped a new album and it's called Back to Me.
It is called Back to Me. And I'm obsessed with it. This is my, oh gosh, I feel so old, but this is my second album, my second solo album. I dropped my first one during the pandemic. It
Yeah.
was the worst time to do an album as it was like, congratulations, sit in your room and celebrate. So I feel like this is my like actual start with like an album and like being able to share it with people. And a really cool thing is 25% of the album sales, like the online CD sales,
Yeah.
25% is going to the Mobius Syndrome Foundation. So
Uh,
I am able to not only do what I freaking love to do, but like also donate to a cause that means so much to me. And being on the board, I'm always trying to do something more. What can I do for this? And this is like
right.
my cool way of doing something that I love and giving back. But yeah, I'm so excited.
No, this song is amazing. Like I literally have it on, my little playlist. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like I can't believe I'm interviewing a real life pop star. Like this is, but I love everything you're doing. You just said you're giving half of the money to Mobius Foundation. I'm speechless. That's like amazing. Like like who thinks of that, to like off the hard work you do, get some money back, which is amazing. So
I'm always trying to raise money. I'm always trying to raise money, and being on the board, I know how people put their whole lives into making the conferences special. And
right.
the reason that I got into advocacy was the conferences. I went when I was 14 years old,
Mhm.
and they do every 2 years. They do a hotel. They pick a hotel, whether it's East Side, West Side, and it's just like hundreds of people with Mobius syndrome, or hundreds of families that know about Mobius syndrome, doctors, professionals. Like, it was my first time ever meeting more than like 3 people with Mobius syndrome, and it changed my life entirely. It made me realize how I definitely had a grateful kind of blessings in life in terms of like bullying. I didn't get bullied as much. I had a family that pushed me to do what I wanted to do. And I feel like a lot of parents who have a child with a disability, they kind of shelter and protect them from the world. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna ever invalidate that, but I will say, like, a lot of people got bullied and they didn't know how to speak up for themselves.
Mhm.
And even in a room full of, 25 other teens with Mobius syndrome, they didn't feel comfortable speaking up and being heard and
Right.
seen. And that was how I started my journey. And this is how I'm doing what I'm doing. So I owe everything to the conferences to kind of life check me, and to get that life check at 14, like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
So I'm very grateful. They do so much amazing things for the community and everything. So I came up with the album during the conference, and
Yeah.
then I was like, oh my God, I wish I got the CDs earlier, as I would have sold them there and then gotten some money to donate to the foundation. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, you know what? I'm going home. I'm gonna print out a bunch of CDs
Right.
and I'm going to do it. And
Right.
I'm it's crazy. Like, I look at this and I'm like, this is like professional, mama.
It
Like, this is
is.
I I went to Target. I did, oh my gosh, the day I got these, I went to Target. I
Yeah.
put them on the rack. I put them at the Target rack. And looking, I mean, and I knew it was good because I was like, it was Taylor Swift, it was like Lana
Yeah.
Del Rey, and then
Uh,
Austin Halls, and it didn't look out of place. And that's when I was like, all right, we're doing something with this one. This is a good
exactly.
one.
No, no. When I saw the cover, I was like, yo, this is amazing. This is so beautiful. And it looks so like so professionally done and everything. So I was like, oh my God, he's out here. He's not playing around. He's not. He's not.
Not anymore. And honestly, like, there are some disabled like musicians, but like,
Yeah.
I think I saw a statistic like 1.8, or it was like less than definitely less than 3% of musicians are disabled. And that is terrible. And I want to be a disabled pop star, like living with a physical difference. Like, it's
Mhm.
so rare, and the niche is there, and I want to fill that niche. I want to be that next, disabled pop star. It's
I love
iconic.
that. Yeah. And you, like you said, it's rare. And I feel like this is your position. This is your moment, and this is your time. And I know it is, that's why I'm speaking it into existence. It is.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like how you're saying about, the retreats, the Mobius Foundation, and how you went to, the retreats and you saw like some of them, like, some of the kids and teens were like, a little shy and everything. I totally relate to that because this year I went to my first ever retreat, craniofacial retreat, and I did notice some of the teens were and kids were a little, shy and everything. And I'm like, we need to build this confidence. We need to, be more active socially, vocally, we need to speak more. So I think that just, turned like a switch in my brain. I'm like, okay, this is my like I have to, be here for the kids, the teens. That's my main goal, to reach through these kids and these teens, like let them know like I'm here for you, been through what you've been through, and we need to build this sort of, I don't know, like this, confidence, some personality, because, it's, when people look at us, they think a different way, and we can't give that to them, we need to give them like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do, you know?
Yeah.
So when you said that, like, that spark that, it gave you a little spark, like, oh, I have to do this, be here for the kids, just, be a light for them. So hearing that, I'm like, oh my God, we went through the same experience. This is so cool. So
A lot of the stories that are very like, they just align with a lot of people that are even like other people with like other disabilities. Like, I've spoken to them, and it's the same thing. Like, we just need that light. We need that hope
right,
for these people, and we need to change the way that we think about disabilities. I think it's just so we're so I believe, and this is a bold statement, but I believe the disability community is one of the most underrepresented communities still to this day. And the media has done amazing things, but like even being gay and disabled as well, having that intersectionality, I've only seen like I could literally like a handful of movies about someone who's gay and also disabled.
Right,
And it just needs to be there more. We need to have like more emojis like Wonder, because
right,
Wonder is one of the most like represented facial differences emojis that I've seen. And other than that, there's nothing really to talk about because there's
right,
not anything on the category. So
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
No, I totally agree. Like, it was all cute and dandy when Wonder came out, but like, what else? We need more. Like, we can't just have that movie, you feel me? So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, we have a movie, but we have Austin too. We have a pop star, so
Listen, we're getting there. We're getting there on TikTok and stuff like that. We're out here. We're out here.
don't I've seen your music videos. I saw your music videos too. Your song Jaded, Conversation. I was like, oh, you got the music videos too.
Like the one that always comes around, always comes around. You come out of the dark, taking a piece of my. You come out of the dark. You got me feeling jaded. Your love is overrated. I don't know how you. Oh, you are not ready for I Don't Miss You, because I Don't Miss You is like one of the songs on the album.
Yeah.
I'm filming a music video hopefully in the next 2 weeks, and I'm very excited. It's just crazy. Even like modeling, when we do the modeling on Friday, like we need to have more models with facial difference or physical differences. Like seriously. I mean, hello, hello.
And I just adore your confidence. Like you body everything you do. Like, it's like nothing like, like you're fearless, like how you say, and that's how you portray yourself, and that's how you give off through your social media. And my next question for you is like, I see you through like do concerts and like do open mics, which I love because you're getting your name out there, you know. And my next question for you, have you ever dealt with like, performance anxiety, or like do you ever get nervous? Let me know.
Oh, all the time. I think having my degree in psychology, I definitely feel like anxiety is a good thing. And it's
Right.
all about how you perspective is everything. I came out with a podcast called The Power of Perspective, and I took a little break about that because I was, doing what, like I said, baby, the hats that I wear too many hats. Sometimes the hats are not fitting, and I gotta change the hat real quick. But I do like being a coach for people, and I do love life coaching, and I think that perspective is everything. And like, I think anxiety is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like imagine like going to your performance and not having any anxiety. Like that's
Right.
not good. That means that you
Right.
don't care about what you're doing. And I feel like you have to have manageable anxiety. You can't let it control you, but know that like, okay, well, you still care about something because you have that little like butterflies in
Right.
your tummy, like stuff like that. And I think I always get nervous with like no matter what I do, like speaking, and I get nervous about different things, but not letting it control me. And I really do think that like perspective is literally the key to like happiness. It is the key to like success. It is the key to like unlocking new things about yourself. And I know that like
Yeah.
with everything that I do, like I'm not perfect. I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna say the wrong things. I'm not gonna be calculated. That's one thing that I try not to be. I don't want to be calculated, or I definitely want to be my authentic self, and just knowing that anxiety comes with it, and doing your best and just hoping for the best. That's honestly, that's all I can say.
Really, no, for real. Cause like, even like with these series I'm doing, I still get butterflies. Like I'm still nervous. Like right before this number, I'm like, oh my God, get it together, get it together, get it together. So it's like, it's you have to be able to control your nerves. You can't let it get the best of you. I love how you said that.
You need, and also too, I feel like it's all about like your message, like, because it doesn't matter how I word things, it doesn't matter if I say my sentence wrong, like as long as people know and people feel it, like people feel our energies. So
Right,
like I know that like I might not say the most correct thing, or maybe I
right,
could have said things a little bit more eloquently, but like people will understand our energy and our vibes and our meaning behind what we're doing. And that's what I try to think about with everything. Like
right,
people understand why I'm here versus what I say when I'm there, you
right,
know? And I think words are important. You should definitely get your words together, but like don't worry about like, oh, I said that. As I feel
right.
like people like get so hung up on like, oh, I said that word wrong and like I messed up the sentence, but like people don't care about that. People just say people want to know why you're saying it. People want to hear the emotion behind it. So that's one thing for you. You have good, amazing energy, and it doesn't matter how you say it, like your light shine through, it really shines through, seriously.
Oh my God, thank you for saying that. Cause like I'm such an overthinker and like I'm like, oh, like I shouldn't have said that. I think I worded it wrong, but then you just said like, oh, like people know why you're saying it, your emotions is coming through. And I'm like, yo, he is right. Like, oh my gosh. Cause I'm like, oh my God, like I like why did I say that? Like, the way I said it. So I'm so glad to hear that. Cause I needed to hear that.
Because your energy is really, really powerful, and like I didn't even meet you, and I feel it with a computer screen, so I know.
So, I did a little research on you. I saw that you have a degree in psychology as well. What led you to pursue that major? I'm curious.
Oh, okay. So I remember going to college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do,
Mhm.
and I was going to community college, and I was like, I don't really want to go to community college, which now the best thing I ever could have done. I saved so much money. It's so worth it. I recommend to anyone watching.
Mhm.
But I was thinking like, oh, psychology might be cool. Like I heard a little bit about it. I didn't know too much about it. And then I was working at a retail store, and then it was the summer before, and I actually met one of my psych professors at the retail job, and I was like, oh dang, like this is crazy. Like I met them, I was like, oh, I'm taking intro, and she was my teacher, and I just fell in love with her, and I fell in love with the classes, and I feel like I low-key was already a therapist to like everyone that I know. I just didn't really know about it. Like I was always the support,
Right.
especially from my mom, my family, and my friends especially. And I just fell in love with it. I think it's so interesting. I think it's so powerful. Like, even if I don't like technically I don't use my degree every day in my normal day to day, but I use it so much in in my mind. Like I apply it to myself, and it's just powerful. You and psychology is one of those degrees that you can literally use in business, relationships, like
Right.
anything. It's just so powerful. I'm obsessed with it, and I wouldn't change it, seriously.
I do want to correct because you said you don't use your degree in everything you do. You do. Everything you're doing, it has everything to do with the mind. You're changing people's perspective on how we are.
That's
So exactly. Let that be known because like what you're doing is not just normal. You are changing people's perspectives, views, and standards. You're breaking down beauty standards by singing, projecting your voice, being a speaker, being an image, being a role model. So I
that's
want to remember that.
No,
Yeah.
that's true. I totally worded that wrong. I like in my day to day, I work at a music school,
Oh,
and I just do like admin there. So like
yeah.
technically I'm not using it for my job,
Right.
but like everything else I do agree. And I just want to, I think you as well, we want to change people's minds about a lot of things, and like especially confidence. Like someone called me a confidence coach, and I was obsessed with that. I was like, you know what? I am now a confidence coach, because like everyone has confidence issues, you know, like being disabled just adds probably 20 more layers to being confident. And you know, the stuff that we get, the stuff that we go through having a facial difference is absolutely wild, and we could go on like a 2-hour lecture about that. But like confidence, like I see the prettiest people have the worst, you know, love for themselves, and I think anyone could use that change
Right.
of perspective.
Right. I totally agree. And with what we're doing is like, breaking down these beauty standards, that's my biggest goal because like, we are absolutely beautiful. We, different comes in beautiful, unique ways, and people tend to forget that, just putting myself out there, which I used to hate, but now I'm like loving the energy. I just, I don't know. I've become so obsessed with myself. I was like, oh my god, they need to see my face. My face is a gift. Like this is needs to be on broadcast, And I'm not just doing it just for myself. I'm just doing it for like you said, young girls and teens. Not even with facial differences. Just anyone in general that struggles with confidence. Finding beauty. Beauty is anything. Anything you look at. It comes within and out. So
I agree. And I feel like the moment I put myself out there on social media and just put myself out there in all different types of ways of life, I
right.
feel like I've gotten the most truest connections and the most authentic
Okay.
like relationships, because there was nothing to hide. And like I really try to live my life in that way. Like just be completely, you know, be strong, but
Right.
also be vulnerable enough to share what you're going through, so that there's like you will weed out all the people that you don't want in your life because they see everything about you. And that's what's kind of terrifying, you know, because you're putting yourself out there. But
Mhm.
it weeds out all of the negative people, and the connections that I've got from doing this is like the most truest form of authentic to me.
Yeah, like this one, like this connection, I feel it's gonna be like this. I just know it.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Okay. My last question for you, Austin. I don't want it to stop, but like last question for you. Do you have any advice that you wish your younger self would have received?
That I would tell him that like life is not that deep, bro. Like life is not that serious.
Mm,
Life is silly. Life is fun.
right,
Life is all about the highs and lows, and like everything is meant to be, and it will be better off in the end. Like I think I just had so much like anxiety and like wanting
right,
to succeed and wanting to thrive, and I really didn't feel authentic in like my ways, and like especially just like being gay, you know, like I feel like I had a lot of like pressure to be someone else, and I really just would let him know that like in like yo in 20 years, 10 years, you're gonna be like living your life authentically. You're gonna be who you are, and you know, there's gonna be a lot of freaking challenges. And I think I would just say like not to worry so much. Like stop worrying. Like don't worry about what you want to do and just do what you love to do. And it all goes from there, I guess. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Future Austin to self. Yes, exactly. Love it.
Well, I'm sure you answered those, but I want to know what you think about that. What would you tell yourself?
Oh.
I know, I know. I turned the tables, babe.
It's something like you said, life isn't as serious, stop worrying. I had so much anxiety. I used to care what everyone thought about me, care about, my appearances, like you said, like beauty standards was such a big thing to me because I see all my friends, having relationships or, just doing everything a normal girl would do. And I was just always, behind and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I I um I worried and struggled on changing so much about me and like hiding myself that I didn't really get to embrace it. So I would, just let her know, like, just never hide, you know, always embrace yourself, you know. You always hid your whole entire life, you know, you are absolutely beautiful. Beautiful is, you know, comes in a unique way, you know. What you look like isn't a problem, you know, it's not your fault, it's no one's fault, and you know, you just gotta embrace it. So, but yeah,
I love it. I love it. No,
that's
seriously.
yes, that got deep. But anyways, thank you so much, Austin. It has been a pleasure chatting with you today. If our audience wants to learn more about you, where can they follow you on any social media platforms?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at the Austin Halls. You can follow me on TikTok at Austin Halls. We're just hitting about 11,000 followers, so please follow, please support. You can find me on iTunes and Spotify at Austin Halls. You can go and buy this album. Uh, there's links in my bios on all social media platforms. By this, you're not only supporting a local disabled artist, you are also donating to an amazing cause and an amazing foundation. So yeah.
Yes, guys, get it, guys, get that album, please do. Love it, love it. Well, again, we appreciate you share your time with us, and I look forward to chatting with you again in the future, Austin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course.